So let's understand how this process works. Right from to understand involution, we need to understand a little of evolution first. So how did this evolve? Because involution is sort of like coming back to the source. So this is how it evolved, right? It was a blank screen. There was nothing. It was all uniform in some ways. And that is the state we called as yog, or that's the swa. That's our original being, or that's what in Panchakosha is known as Anandmay. From this, the first boundary that got created is the will. The will that there should be something, there should be life. Why life? And now why life is only Yog knows, or only Swa knows why life. But then the will came. Let's say there is will. So what happened with that will? The first thing that it connected with was the cosmic intelligence, the Vijnanamay. So that's sort of like a manifestation of that will as we see it, as we experience it. So each individual will experience this will slightly differently in their own way. It will be their subjective experience. So, and why is that experience subjective? Because the evolution didn't stop there. The evolution then continued into the field with these three gunas, with tamas, rajas, and sattva. So the three gunas worked in the next layer of evolution, not in the will. So it's beyond that. Beyond tamas, rajas is the will. So that's where the three operate in the next sphere. And what is there in this sphere? In this sphere, the next one is the Manomay Kosha, our thoughts, emotions, our memories, our identity. That's what's there in this. The Pranamay, the energy that then keeps things in motion. And then the body, the Annamay Kosha. Now this field that is there, all three, the three, tamas, rajas, sattva, is where they operate in this. And you can see that if you were to just map it, now map Manomay, Annamay, Pranamay and Annamay, and see all three have all three. All three of the koshas have tamas, rajas, sattva. We experience tamas, rajas, sattva in all of the three layers, but see the dominant one. Can you notice which will be dominant? There is a difference in dominance as described, right? So if you see, the body is about restraint. It's the most heaviest thing. It's the enveloping thing, right? It's what's creating this identity in some ways. And it also creates the delusion in a lot of ways, right? It is the body. That's where tamas is the highest. It's dominating. Then life energy, it creates activity, right? Its essence is activation. And by the process of illumination, even though I think our mind does a lot right now, so there is a lot of tamas sometimes in the mind, rajas also. It has all three, but its core essence is about sattva. And it's the one which is closest to our cosmic intelligence in the Panchakosha. So Panchakosha layering, I have removed the layers in this particularly so that we understand that all three are operating in the tamas, rajas, sattva operate in all three. So that's why that layering is gone. So what happens as a result, to Anirudh's question, right? What happens in this field when we are moving in this field of tamas, rajas, sattva? That force sometimes can be overpowering, can be strong. So what happens? We lose touch with our cosmic intelligence. Like Garima said, it's non-interfering. The cosmic intelligence is non-interfering. That voice will be there, but it won't push. It will let you decide. So it allows us, and so this play continues in some ways, right? Of tamas, rajas, sattva, and we keep moving in this. We keep carrying on in this, and that results us in being aswast. So we lose connection to our swa. We lose connection being able to be sthit in our swa, to be in yoga. That connection is that loss, that touch, that connection is what causes the challenge. So what's the solution? The solution is we can, and that's the process of yogification. Through the process of yogification, we can access our cosmic intelligence through this field only. So through now understanding that tamas, rajas, sattva don't have their own intelligence. The intelligence is mine. I can take charge of them. If I'm feeling lazy, I can overpower that tamas with some activity to start with. I may not get to sattva, and that's where there is a certain gradation which makes the job easier. That I can overpower tamas, I can overpower my laziness with some action. I don't want to be illuminated right now, but let's do something. I can do that, right? And that is the process of yogification that we follow. And there are tools, very specific tools that we will come across. Every path in some ways of yoga actually gives those tools to us. Because this field is very complex, and that's what sometimes overwhelms us, overpowers us. There is a lot of complexity. So we need very tangible tools to do that. And you can see the symbol of yogification, that sort of this is there, which is about bringing things together. And yeah, that we'll discuss that. Now, when this yogification happens, right, what we do is we experience this subjectively. Right? The cosmic intelligence, as I said, that experience is subjective to us. What happens when yogification happens, that experience is subject to us. And we use different words, and I'm, like Garima said, very glad we have already started using those words. So they are like silence, wisdom, flow, inner voice, now, just being in the present, freedom, that's also come up, stillness, peace, love, and so many more. I think this is just something we've put together. Already some other words have come today, but there is just so many experiences of this intelligence, and that is subjective because it's still influenced by the field that we operate in, because our body will see it that way, will experience it. Our pranamaya is different, everyone's is unique. The play of this triguna is unique, so it will play out in its own way in each and every one. And when we experience that, we experience more of it. We become sthit pragya in it. We become sthit in that experience more and more and more. It leads us back to swa more and more. So from this evolution, through the process of yogification, involution can happen. But we need to understand the evolution to be able to drive the involution.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful slide. I mean, it puts everything together in a very good circle. I mean, I'll say I was struggling on the previous one, tamas, rajas, sattva. It got way too complicated. Yeah, but here now the sequence, and yeah, it all makes sense how it actually interplays.
And we will leave today with, reflect on this,